All right, it's everyone's favorite time of the year, and it is tier list time. This is covering from January 2025 and just seeing what the best decks are. And I think with the new Stride deck sets for Night Rose and Harry coming out in a couple weeks, I think it's a great time to kind of learn what the meta is and just kind of see how things shift into set 6 and set 7 as well. Do note that a lot of these ride lines are quite outdated, so I'll just skip through a lot of them. The main ones like Vargar, Leverdress, then, I'll speak a little bit more about. So please don't get offended if your ride line, gets, dragged off and not really spoken about. So hopefully, you guys get your support for your ride lines in the future set. Just like Vargar, right? So Vargar at the moment is C. So if we're looking at the tier list, S is like the best decks in the format. D is like, I never want to touch this deck. B is like your benchmark. That is like your average deck, the stuff that would bring to like a shop challenge, etc., etc. That's pretty much like the boundaries, right? So Vargar, it is getting new support in set 7, along with like the Dragon Tree and whatnot. So we'll see that. Mahar is kind of outdated. Overlord down there as well. Jiva. So I think Jiva is, your average deck at the moment. Your benchmark deck. I think it's a good counter pick into Leverdress, and sometimes there are a lot of decks that, play well into what the format is like, just gets rid of markers, and sometimes guard restrict with like, 5 underdress is like really strong. So I think Jiva, not too bad. Megalonazuchi just down here. Gandiva will get more support once the mask comes out. Tomoura is just your average deck, that's fine. Vermilion does get support. The Blood, I don't know. I don't think it's that great. I haven't really seen much. It gets like the Blood and something else, but it doesn't really carry the deck to a benchmark deck, unfortunately. This is Zedlin's, right? So that goes there. Shunui. So I think Shunui is still a formidable deck. It did get hit on the Japan side. And Shunui is still very good with the non-Shojudoji ride line, so the Genkai ride line. No OT is whatever, but English still has Furai, and it's still good, right? The Dino guy is not that great, kind of down here. Start deck guys down here. Whatever the set 3 or set 4 guys down here too. Virgila down here, Koti Blaze down here, Doji. So Doji's okay. I think it was the best deck in the format come set 4, but then set 5 everything just became really good. So I think it's an okay deck. It's definitely better than Jiva and a lot of the decks in B, so I think putting an A in is fine. It's not the best deck in the format anymore. This is Scales. So I think this deck is insane. So especially into Leverdress, you want to play quick. This deck plays quick. It pings your damage, 5 attacks. I nearly died against this in BCS Malaysia. I think it's a very strong deck going straight up, just bashing your opponent, and your opponent literally can't do anything about it, right? Eugene, unfortunately, didn't really get much. Vargar. So Vargar, in comparison to Shunui, is just okay, right? But it's on the brink of A, I think. It's like, if you have a really good day and you're flipping yellows, you're winning, right? So I think Vargar sits there. Gandiva Mask kind of goes into, like, with Gandiva, right? But we haven't really seen much of this. So anything that hasn't been revealed, I'm just going to kind of place it here. But I guess Gandiva did get revealed. So haven't really seen... I don't know how to feel about Gandiva Mask. Maybe I'll just put out a benchmark. It got, like, buffs. Yeah, pretty good, right? The Blood kind of goes with Vermilion right here. There's this new guy. We don't know what support has. It kind of has, so it kind of goes here. Grateful Bruce. Grateful Bruce had, Orlindo recently? But I don't think the deck is great, unfortunately. Favonier gets better probably once the new Favonier comes out, is out. So that kind of goes, it's not that great here. Same with this guy, whatever, Meaties, and then Jet. So Jet, I think, is in a pretty good deck. I don't think I put it on the same tier as Shodoji, right? So I just kind of put it here. It's a very formidable deck. Has a really good engine with the energy stuff like Folklore, Tiskar. I think it's good there. Vimance Bruce, not that great. Bikomasks gets better with the new Unicar, I think. Chaos. This hasn't actually seen a lot in English. I think it will see more once Springfest comes around. So maybe it goes like here. It's an okay deck, right? It's an honest deck to be able to play, you know, at a regionals, right? Greedon as well, I think goes there. Omina Gruzio needs support. Jejuled. So I think Jejuled is like very high B, brinking A. I think it misses one card, which is an Immigra, and this deck would be instantly S tier. Actually, it's actually pretty good at the moment, especially if you go second, because a lot of decks opt to go first. It punishes decks going second, and it hits big, gets crit, reduces your opponent's power to 1, and has resanders, has draw, yeah, has a lot. So, you know, Jejuled, I think it's a pretty good deck. So, what's this? Time Stamping Dragon goes down here. Largest down here. Difo Dolls really gets destroyed by time, unfortunately. Blang is a really good deck. I think it goes really well into Leverdress. Yeah, it just shuts off the Infinity Ice markers, gets rid of the board, and your opponent's forced to ride again, build a board again. And yeah, every turn it just takes 2 from your opponent's board. Really, really strong. Lucia goes down here. Lucia will get better if we get the Philia. I think Philia is a really good addition to the deck. Sacrifice Glass kind of down here. Barrow Magnus down here. Barrow Magnus, yeah. I'll give it a bit more respect. Harry actually goes down here. Harry as a stride deck is not as good as I thought it would be. Actually, maybe it goes just fair. It's a fair deck, right? It's a deck that I would bring to a regionals, but I probably would play like 3 other decks before this, right? So I think Harry is just okay, right? It misses a lot. It needs an early game. It doesn't scale as good in comparison to some of the other decks like Luard. So yeah, unfortunately, Harry, you know, it's a strong, consistent 4-attack deck, but if I wanted to play a 4-attack deck, I'd just play Leverdress, right? Why would I play Harry, yeah? Odium. I think Odium is a really good deck. I think it's very strong. If you keep rolling first and you just keep rolling your opponent, you're just destroying them. So I think Odium, very, very strong deck. Even if it goes second, sometimes I've won going second, and the Divine Skill is just really strong, especially because your numbers are just massive, right? Favanil. Kind of goes here. I think it's unexplored. Unicar will come out soon. So I think those 2 unexplored at the moment will probably fluctuate between C and B, I think, once people figure it out, right? MLB. Would I bring MLB? Probably not. I wouldn't bring MLB to a regional. So it kind of goes there. Single PBO. I do want to bring these 2 though. They're very cool decks. Graham Grace. I think there's a new Graham Grace later on. Minerva. Minerva's okay. I think it's solid. I think it's just good. Hexorb needs support. Soliron will get the mask later in this list. Tegria is okay. You will see, like, you know, your round 1, round 2 Tegrias. Ezel needs some help down here, probably. Basion Accord. Yeah. This one's hard. Like, Basion Accord can kind of like... I guess it's like top of C, right? It gets outclassed by like all the other stuff. Alden. I think Alden is alright. I think it's a pretty good deck. I think it won a regional recently. So that's that. Youthberg is here. Probably gets insane support in set 7. Luard. So I think Luard is a formidable deck. I think a lot of people are still playing it. I think the deck is still quite viable. So I'll play it up there. Luhan. Luhan is like Odium at home. Odium just does better everything that Luhan wants to do. These can kind of go down here. Amorta is horrific. I really hope they give some support to Amorta because Amorta's art is really cool and I do want to play the deck. Undercover just goes down here. Oh wait, that was a different Alden. So no, this Alden goes down here. The real Olden goes here. Okay, cool. Rezel Vital, one of the best decks in the format. Sir Gawain dot deck. Ketapile. There's 2 different builds. You can 6 damage heal with another trigger. It's a really big grind fest, and it just does what it does. It has a hostage package. Yeah, pretty much everything. So, yeah, best deck, one of the best decks in the format. Soliron, I'll put it here. It's unexplored at the moment. Same with New Graham Grace. Prism. I think Prism is a formidable deck. I think a lot of people will find that Prism actually works pretty well in this current format. And I think the problem with Prism is that it's slightly too slow. I think if it was 1 turn faster, it'd be really strong, like S to A tier strong. But I don't think that's the nature of Prism as a deck itself. Heroes goes down here. Bat deck. So I'll put it at the top of B. This deck can be extremely bad or extremely good. If you high roll and absolutely draw the nuts, check the nuts against this guy, like your opponent's never living. So I think Bat kind of goes up there. Messiah. So Messiah's good at the moment. If it gets set 6 support, it becomes A. So I'll put it in A, give it respect for set 6. I think with the Trans-Elves Messiah, this deck and the Lady Battler, I think those 2 cards make this deck really, really strong. So it goes there. So I guess we'll talk about Jet then. So Jet gets like Glimmer Breath and Chronos Command, but the support doesn't keep on par with Messiah. So I think Jet just kind of stays down here. But I guess like sometimes you can just win and scam games with Jet. So I don't know. I think the first stride is very weak in comparison to like Messiah. Messiah just draws a bunch and just kind of grinds out the game. Vanguard goes down here. Eva. I think Eva is a okay deck. I think it's pretty good. It's definitely better than B tier decks, I think. Or maybe it goes here. I don't know. It's very hard. I think it goes here. I wouldn't put it in A because like these decks are like completely outclassed. Maybe Scale Alcalibra can go down here as well. All right. So yeah, I think this looks better, right? Because yeah, these are the decks that I would probably bring to regional. Higher up in the tier list for B would be, you know, stronger than the ones towards the end. So maybe I'll put like Olden up here as well. Like these I'll put down here for sure. Silhouette Man down here. Orphis Mask needs some help. Gravidian Mask as well. Whatever the start deck thing is. Wellstra needs some help. Wellstra, the black Wellstra is way better. Rotovisor needs some help. Dayusha's down here as well. Also needs some help. I wonder if like... I mean, I would bring Dayusha to regional at the moment. Probably not, because I mean like it gets outclassed by like all the set 5 stuff. So yeah, maybe not. Maybe it goes like high C or something. Archite is okay. Impolio is just okay, I think. So I think it maybe goes there. Oh, maybe the same as Dayusha, right? Flagberg needs some help. Magnolia needs some help. Maelstrom. There should be like another Maelstrom. Oh yeah, Glory's down there. So normal Maelstrom needs help. Grand Fear needs help. Same with Claudine. Rorowa gets better later on. Misty Arc down here. Math. Leonon is still a good deck. This deck has been out for so long and it's gotten a lot of support and it's still a good deck. So I think Leonon up here, you know, sometimes you just stand a rear guard for like, I don't know, absurd numbers. Your opponent doesn't have PG and then they just no guard and die, right? Cristianos down here. Lascaria, I'll give it up here. Zorganadir is okay. I think set 2, set 3 format is alright, but gets outclassed by a lot of other things. So maybe, yeah, you will see Zorganadir. People will bring Zorga. Like that's just the reality, right? Storaja up here. Night Rose, one of the better decks in the format. We've seen results of it in Japan. It's just a really grindy deck and the deck scales really well. So that kind of goes there. Leverdress, best deck in format, no questions asked. It's actually pretty crazy, like the discourse at the moment with Leverdress. If you play the deck, play it. If you don't like it, play something else, right? It's not that hard. Lever has everything other than a hand. Blank Maya actually is a bad matchup for Lever, I think. A lot of the stuff just get bound, and then you just shoot your opponent, and yeah, they just can't Sentinel. So what are they going to do? No Infinity Eyes markers to draw, and yeah, you know, you just turn off all their skills. So Roroa, it's unexplored. I think this deck has potential in the future, but yeah, it's unexplored at the moment. Maelstrom. It saw 2 results in WGP Singapore, so I think I'll put it here. I wouldn't put it in A. It doesn't have enough support to kind of show, right? This is the new Wave Girl, unexplored. Kyrie is a solid deck. I would play it. Petrolka is down here. A lot of the Lyrical girls are down here, actually. Unfortunately, Willista is a bit higher, maybe like up here. Felty. There's actually a lot of Lyrical girls that really need support, right? Fennel's probably up here somewhere. We've seen results in set 4 meta, but I think set 4 meta outclasses Fennel. Charmeau as well. I think Charmeau's alright. I think it's a, you know, still a solid deck. Sienna needs help. Pacifica needs help. Chris Rain's alright. I think with the new support coming up soon, I think this deck will be really good. Prism has fallen off a lot. Flam Glam can sometimes just win games. I would just put it there, give it a little bit more respect. The Vanilla Girl, Medio, Kyoka, Michu. I think Michu's a solid deck. I played it for BCS Vietnam and BCS Melbourne. I think even going to set 5 meta, sometimes you can just win. What's this? The Bunny Girl down here. This is new Kyoka, right? Lutetia up here somewhere. Maybe here. Somewhere there, maybe. Absolute Zero. Coral down here. Vert down here. Licia Fell, I think, is just good. I think a bit more support. I think this deck would be really good. But I think it's missing something. It feels like it's missing, I don't know. It's like a 4 to 5 attack deck. I don't know what it's missing. Maybe the guard restrict is what, you know, make or breaks this deck. So yeah, we'll see in the future. A lot of the collab decks just kind of goes down here. Mikazuki is probably the only one that matters, and trading tools, I think, wherever the trading tools is. But Kashu, I guess, maybe like up here somewhere. And then kind of all the other ones just kind of go down here, right? It's unfortunate because until Rambu gets like another set of support, then it'd be good. Like, it'd be good, but otherwise it doesn't really have anything. Same with Rekka Ragnarok, it's a one and done collab, unfortunately. So it's just kind of down here. Unfortunately, it's the same with Shaman King. So that kind of goes down here. Funnily enough, in Japan, right, if we're talking about collabs, Monster Strike actually becomes really good. So I think a lot of people are experimenting with Ebisu. And I think Ebisu actually comes up like here somewhere. So the power of Ebisu is a deck that had the power of a 2025 deck back in 2022. So the fact that now Anastasia and all of its restrictions are lifted, I think the deck is better, but I think there are decks that can match it now, right? It's a Pharaoh deck now. I think a lot of people are still experimenting with the deck, and I think the deck will see a lot of results come the next season, because at the moment in Japan, I think it's the off season at the moment until WGP restarts. Mushi King down here, unfortunately. The Quints other than Yotsuba, I think. So Yotsuba kind of goes here. Sometimes you can cheese and win your opponent, and it fluctuates, right? Actually, I'll put it there. I would bring it to regional because I'm lame, right? I like playing lame decks. So that's that. This is Morphonica. Morphonica goes here. My Go goes here. I think it's a format out of date. I don't think it's that great. One of the V-Spos go down here. Benny, I think, is an okay deck. I think, you know, Sword Me deck with like power reduction is pretty good. the other Vespo girl. Love and Berry. I think Love and Berry is like one of the best decks in the format at the moment. But I guess you can kind of put it up here, right? Because then you're competing against Leverdress. But I don't know. I think it's very... I think it'd be here. Something like this, I think. Putting in an S tier is like an overstatement. I think I'm giving it too much credit if I'm putting it in S. I think the deck goes really good into Leverdress. And, you know, we see a lot of results. Berry won the WGP Japan Nationals. We'll see the WGP World Finals coming up soon. So, yeah, we'll see some more results. Black is very good. I think it's a very solid deck. Yeah, we've seen a lot of results in Japan, and I really hope it comes into English. I really do want to play that deck. A lot of the Korokoro stuff, haven't really seen much results, so I'll put it in C to say that, you know, it's unexplored for the meantime. I think a lot of people are still playing better decks, so it's a nice to have deck. I think, you know, once Korokoro does come into English, I'll end up playing it. I like the art, and it looks pretty cool, right? And it's a collab deck, so yeah, collab decks are pretty cool. And then Grifogila, the Dragon Tree, I think it gets better with the new set, but we'll see about that. But at the moment, it is at the bottom. So just to recap, the tier list at the moment for January 2025. So the best decks in the format, Leverdress and Rezael by a landslide. The next tier down is like, you know, what you will see at the top table. So Odium, Love and Berry, Shunui, Doji, Blankmaya, Luan, Messiah. Messiah gets really good in set 6. But we've seen results already from set 4, I think in one of the NA regionals. Leonor, Night Rose, Ebisu in JP, and Black. Hopefully Black comes to English. And then next tier down is like the decks that you would anticipate to see at, like, you know, your first 3 or 4 rounds at a regional as well. So yeah, that's pretty much my take on the current format at the moment. There are a lot of ride lines. As you can see, a lot of them are in C and D. So, you know, we're just talking about what the landscape is like, and this is kind of my take on the, you know, the format at the moment. And, you know, if you liked the video, pop a like, comment down below what you guys think of the format at the moment. I know it's a very big Leverdress, you know, discourse environment at the moment. You know what? If you don't like Leverdress, play Odium. Odium's a really cool deck. I can vouch for that. I think Odium is very cool, and it's getting support again in set 7. So yeah, if you guys haven't already, click that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.